building each truck, and another $75,000 per truck on yearly maintenance and repair.
Well, there's a lot more to it than just a big truck out there doing a show. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. We work here every day. We're in charge of taking care of all the Bigfoot trucks to make sure that they do a show every week and do a good job of the show. There's no letting a truck go without having it fully checked out first. It has to be done right, and it has to be ready for a show.
The engines are a lot more complicated, of course, with the supercharger on it, and then we've got a lot of extra electrical parts. We've got extra lights, the tilt hood, the power hood, the rear steering that the normal truck wouldn't have. And there's a lot of extra stuff on there. There's onboard air compressor on the trucks. We've got the steering beefed up to handle the size of the tires because of normal steering and won't take the stress of the tires. And also, the suspension and the axles are stronger. Brakes on them, we have enough brakes to make these trucks stop, where a stock truck with just big tires doesn't have enough braking power to stop once you get those tires rolling. And you just have to try to make everything work together. You can't just put on big tires and go, because there's a lot more to it than that.
The trucks have changed quite a bit from what we were doing 8 years ago with the trucks, so we've never even thought of the things. Even things that we're doing now, a year ago we thought we couldn't do. We've just tried to improve them and try different things, and if something doesn't work out, we'll go back and fix it to make it work and do what he wants to do. Bob has a lot of ideas, a lot of things he tries to get done, and that's my job to make sure that they will do what he wants to, no matter how far-fetched it might seem at the time.
And it's all Bigfoot tonight. Don Maple's having problems. He can't even get close, but a beautiful job. Jim Kramer takes home another win for Bigfoot.
The end result of all the mechanical work is another winning performance by the Bigfoot team. And while the drivers and trucks receive all of the glory and attention, it is nothing short of a team effort which allows Bigfoot to emerge victorious 98% of the time. That's quite a record, especially considering there are now somewhat of a neighborhood of 200 oversized, souped-up monsters competing on the racing circuit these days. With so many trucks on the road, the competition is fierce. Though Bigfoot was the first monster truck, now they're springing up all over the place. And as the role of these monsters slowly evolves from exhibitions to racing, truck against truck, driver versus driver, the young and still developing sport of monster truck racing is becoming much more popular and much more dangerous. Imagine 2 or more trucks totaling 30,000 pounds flying through the air at close to 40 miles an hour, and suddenly IndyCar racing seems almost tame by comparison.
It used to be easy. It used to be you get in a car. I took people from Elkie Summers, Edsel Ford, for rides because you could do it. It was easy. You just went up to a car and drove over the car, and it was a show for people. It's different now. Now you have to have helmets on. You've got to have fire suits. You've got to have good seat belts and a partial helmet or a shoulder harness, because you're hitting the cars and you're flying over the cars, and you come down. It's brutal. I've come back with bloody noses. I've got a lot of my drivers have stiff necks. One of the drivers pulled a bunch of ligaments in his arm. They've hurt their back. What we're doing right now in our next office, we're setting up some exercise machine. We're going to have therapists in here to help exercise the muscles that we're using more of that I guess you don't normally use those muscles. But it's rough. You couldn't, somebody couldn't jump in a truck now and do what we're doing. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of guts.
For an example of that, let's peek inside the cab of Bigfoot and watch what happens to the driver during one of these dangerous jumps. What you are about to see is a video shot during a recent performance in Indianapolis. And as you see, taming a monster isn't easy.
When you're out here racing this truck, you're concentrating so heavily on so many things. Trying to take this information, try to make the right move with the truck. You really don't have time, so to speak, to be scared. All right? I had a mishap with the truck. I almost rolled it over once. It didn't bother me at the time. Now, later on, when I reflected back on it, when I had time to reflect back on what happened, what could have happened, sure, I got scared. When you're driving the truck, there's really no time, or I haven't found there's time to even be scared.
One of the reasons that Bob Chandler and his team go through the time and expense of videotaping their drivers and trucks is to see how safety features can be improved. By studying tapes like this, they gain insight into the potential hazards of driving the vehicles. In fact, Chandler and his drivers have taken a